Hello, let's inspect the poisonous SRS build for the Servant of ARAKAALI. There are many benefits to being a Servant of ARAKAALI. It's a Shadow Ascendancy available only during the Legacy of Frisia event. In this build, we will make use of passives that emphasize a poison minion archetype and use Raging Spirits as the main damage carriers. Skin Crawlers grants 50% poison chance and 10% to apply Withered on hit for minions, which saves us a lot of trouble. Malevolent Strands grants the Envy aura, which adds tons of chaos damage to attacks. To inflict poison, one must first deal physical or chaos damage with hits. Thread Spinner and Silk Dancer are a source of a free aspect to the Spider skill. It significantly weakens nearby enemies so that they move slower, deal less, and take increased damage. And these passives are straightforward, and the build is very similar to a default poison SRS build. As is the case with most builds of this type, you will employ Animated Guardian and various spectres to enhance your performance. With Skin Crawlers, you also want your minions to hit often, so adding Phantasms is recommended. A lot of your damage comes from auras. Their effect should be increased. Raging Spirits are entirely reliant on the outside sources of added chaos or physical damage. In our case, that's Envy, the Covenant, and AG's Crown of the Tyrant white socket model. Because of that, the gem level of SRS is not really that important, which is an unusual characteristic for a minion build. The durability of the build stems from high maximum life and block chance. With Eldritch Battery and Mind Over Matter, your ES will absorb some of the incoming damage and you will recover it with Aegis Aurora on block. Additional survivability comes from Silk Dancer, AG, and Jinxed Juju. Clear speed is that of any other minion build, but it can be improved with Asenaths on your AG. Single target damage is one of the highest for a minion build, but it has to ramp up to reach its full potential. It's a popular and expensive build, fine-tuned rares, and some of the uniques can cost a lot. Aegis Aurora requires you to cap or at least have a very high block chance. Armor is important for it to work. Aim for over 5,000 armor. The Covenant is a source of chaos damage, and so is the Jinxed Juju, be it more indirectly. You need 100% chance to poison for your minions. 50% is provided by Skin Crawler's passive. That can be done with rare Ghastly Abyss jewels, and it's a very good idea to combine them with Darkness Enthroned. The Covenant, socket your Raging Spirits here. The built-in gem for added chaos damage does the heavy lifting in terms of flat damage. It's not mandatory, but one must get it at some point. Aegis Aurora replenishes your ES on block, an important feature since your spells and taking damage drain tons of ES. Since Abyss Jewels are so impactful, you should at some point switch to Darkness Enthroned with Good Roll and Socket, your two best jewels here. You're using multiple auras, including Envy, and relying on them to boost your damage in a significant way, and that's why Jinxed Juju is probably the best amulet, especially since it's cheap too. The Hungry Loop. Here, after the ring consumes 4 support gems, you will socket your AG. We will list these gems in the next section. Without it, your AG will have to share its support gems with Chaos Golem or Spectres. Have 5 other Ghastly Abyss jewels to extract all the bonus damage over time multiplier from Amanamu's Gaze. Don't socket it in Darkness Enthroned, the bonus effect will not apply. You're affected by 2 auras, Purity of Elements and Vitality and Envy, but that's irrelevant for Watcher's Eye. Be careful. Auras linked with Generosity do not affect you and will not apply Watcher's bonuses. Prioritize extra chaos, resistance from the Purity of Elements. Raging Spirits use attacks, so their accuracy and attack speed matters. Be sure your maximum life is high and that you have enough attributes. Gem level is a fundamental stat to improve your minions' max life. And if you find your Spectres or AG dying, invest more in minion life and especially their resistances. Look for spell suppression chance if you die too often. Helmet. You need the minion gem level and maximum life prefixes. After that, just get as much resistances as you can afford. For the Eldritch mods, get increased minions maximum life and physical to elemental damage shift. A bone wand with minion damage, minion gem level, and a crafted prefix that triggers socketed spell is what you want. Attack speed or accuracy from minions will work too. Gloves are a source of maximum life, resistances, and maybe attributes such as dexterity. Spell suppression can be found on gloves with evasion, while increased minion damage is a craftable prefix. For the Eldritch mods, go for increased minion damage and extra suppression chance. Boots. Here you will find maximum life resistances and movement speed. Chance to suppress spell damage is a craftable suffix. For the Eldritch mods, try to get increased movement speed and life regeneration per endurance charge. Darkness Enthroned is overall better if you have the Abyss Jewels to socket here, but a regular Stygian Vice is cheaper. Here seek maximum life, elemental resistances, and strength. A Bone Ring has a mod pool that can improve minions' life and damage, which is definitely useful. If you still lack a lot of resistances and attributes, get a regular ring with these missing stats instead. We expect you to gain the remaining 50% poison chance from Ghastly Abyss Jewels alone. If that's not an option yet, you'll have to link your SRSS with chance to poison, and that's just suboptimal. One jewel can roll up to 15% chance to poison. Mix it with added maximum life and other stats listed here. If your character level is high, get a large minion damage cluster jewel with 12 passives, their effect increased. If not, try an 8 passive one with useful notables such as Feasting Fiends, Call to Slaughter, and Renewal. Medium cluster jewel, Blessed Rebirth and Life from Death will keep your minions healthy, especially ones that you want to keep alive. Enduring Composure from small cluster jewels generates endurance charges. It's very hard to generate endurance charges other way. The build needs a very high block chance, and there is no way to cap it without Rumi's Concoction Flask. Your other flasks are Life Flask with Bleeding Removal, Quartz, Basalt, and Quicksilver flasks. Their suffixes shall increase your armor, movement speed, and regenerate life. Summon Raging Spirit. It spawns plenty of skulls. They will poison, which requires physical or chaos damage. Sourced from items and skills, since all they do is deal fire damage. Link it with Unleash, minion damage, Unbound Ailments, Void Manipulation, and Multi-Strike support gems. Malevolence grants more damage over time to affected allies. Use Precision as your minions will probably need extra accuracy to land their hits. Auras linked to Generosity support affects not you, but only your allies. Their effect is increased. Link them with Enlighten 2 to reserve less mana. Raise Spectre. Their role is to hit often. They have a 10% chance of applying Withered on hit, or to provide some kind of bonuses for your other minions. Try Spectral Leader, Syndicate Silencer, Pale Seraphim, Gilded Arak, Carnage Chieftain, or Stygian Silverback. Link it with Minion Life, Meat Shield, and Empower or Elemental Army support gems. Animated Guardian can provide you with powerful buffs depending on its items. See our AG gearing guide and dress him up as you see fit. We expect him to wear Asenath's Gentle Touch gloves and windscreen boots so that he applies Temporal Chains on hit. It can be socketed in Hungry Loop, where it can be linked with Feeding Frenzy, Minion Life, Meat Shield, and Melee Splash or Elemental Army support gems. The following 2 gems should be socketed in a Trigger Wand so that you won't have to cast them yourself. Desecrate creates corpses to be consumed with Flesh Offering, useful if there are no corpses against bosses in their arenas. Minions have increased attack speed, cast speed, and movement speed when under the effect of Flesh Offering. Tempest Shield, more spell block chance, shock immunity, and a shocking bolt of lightning on block. Vitality grants life regeneration, which is rather desirable in a build like this. It's optional since you may have no mana left for it. Purity of Elements grants immunity to all elemental ailments and extra elemental resistances. Link them all with Enlighten support. Chaos Golem of the Maelstrom. This type of golem has a high chance of applying Withered debuff on hit with its Storm spell. Link it with Summon Phantasms. Like all your other minions, they have a 10% chance of applying Withered on hit. That's their only purpose. You can have up to 10 of them. Link both with Minion Life Support. Convocation recalls all your minions back to you in case they wander away. Despair causes the enemy to take increased chaos damage. Your curse limit is 1, but after you apply it, your AG with the curse limit of 2 thanks to the windscreen boots will hit the enemy with Temporal Chains. Temporal Chains curse is not needed here if your AG applies it on hit with Asenath's Gentle Touch. Otherwise you have to cast it yourself and have a +1 curse limit from Whispers of Doom. Slay all the bandits for the additional skill point. For a major god switch between Lunaris or Solaris, depending on the type of content you're planning to run, ARAKAALI is a good choice if you struggle with damage over time. For the Minor God, select Soul of Gruthkul for physical damage reduction. Remember that you're immune to all elemental ailments. The passive skill tree will be a source of maximum life, minion damage, minion life, reservation efficiency, and block chance. It's very similar to the classic Poison SRS skill tree. Your keystones are Eldritch Battery and Mind Over Matter. Allocate block and shield mastery for additional block chance, minion defense mastery for minion life recovery on minion death, and ES mastery for passive ES regeneration. If your animated guardian and specters are dying, they probably need more resistances. Allocate Grave Intentions or Indomitable Army in this case. If you really need block chance, go for Mystic Bulwark Notable or Glancing Blows Keystone if the situation is dire. Surge of Vigor and its recovery mastery may be good if your regeneration is especially poor. And that is all for this guide. Like the video and subscribe to the channel to stay updated. See you soon.